Ready?
Sure. You ready? Go.
Oh, I moved the mic.
Okay, let's see what you got there. Yeah, that's good.
Okay. You'll have to edit out the clams.
Yeah, all of them.
There's some clams in there, boy. Got a whole bushel of oysters in that one.
That's it.
You
I
guys
think.
got 4 minutes left on this tape to wrap it up.
I have one more question.
Okay, question. Sure.
Sure.
Oh yeah. I don't have any sex life anymore.
yeah, I share sex life. Oh, wait a second. Hey, Sally, I do have a question for
Let's
you.
change the light a little bit so it's not quite as
Seriously, there's some bad stuff in there. I don't know how you're gonna get rid of it.
Yeah.
It says it's fine, so I think it's fine.
Let's just go with what we got.
Okay, well, let's just
Want a beer?
midway.
We're done playing. We can talk in a bit. But
Oh, wait.
Well, why don't you hold the guitar?
No.
You know, there's a couple of things.
you never know.
But I will stop. You got it.
Question. What kind of plans do you have for the future? What are you going to be doing?
Start that again.
Oh, don't ask me that because I don't have anything.
Oh, okay. Well, what kind of plans do you have for yesterday? What do you?
Yesterday wasn't so good, and tomorrow might be worse.
Yeah. Now, who have you been playing with, and what's?
I've been working with Roger Miller for about 5 years. And Robert Gordon. I played with Robert Gordon, rockabilly band out of New York for a couple of years. And here lately, I'm mostly back in D.C. just gigging around, looking for opportunities.
Are you doing any more recording work? We should mention you've got a couple records out already.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're out of print.
Okay.
Can't get those.
What are they?
I need to do something. One of them's Redneck Jazz, and the other one's called American Music.
Which one do you like the best?
I like them both. They're both different. But I've been making tapes at home, multi-track tapes of about 10 songs that I've written. And if I ever get a chance, I'd like to do an album, record them, multi-track them. Should work out well.
That's good.
Demos are good.
Have you ever worked with a real sophisticated producer? I mean, it seems like there's always a musician and then there's the people in the business that make it sell or whatever. What do you?
I always had a problem in the studio because I didn't play like everybody else did. I always overplayed, and for the past few years I've been trying to tone this thing down, and to be perfectly honest, I'm totally confused about how to play anymore. A lot of times people say, hey, play the way you used to. I say, I can't do it anymore. I've had this simple thing drilled into my head, and I've kind of lost my identity.
Right. People keep telling you ought to play this way. And
Yeah, and I can't play that other way. It just doesn't fit me, so I don't know what to do.
It seems to work out best when you just play the way you want to play.
Yeah, if I could still do it. I've been able to do it for about 3 years.
Yeah.
I used to be a lot better, I thought. That's showbiz.
Well, what kind of advice would you give to players who want to learn more about your style or the way you play?
Oh, that's a good question. There's nothing like being right there. You know, I teach every now and then. I had a few remarkable students come out. A couple of them played in my band, and they played all my stuff. So when it was time for me to play, I said, hey, I have nothing left to do. Get out.
Who was that? Who was that?
Joe Kojak, for one.
Oh, yeah. Joe was that.
Kojak had all the fast stuff down, and then there's a guy named Ricky Buzzard. You know Ricky?
No.
He's got a lot of the other stuff down, so there's quite a few guys around down. Bryn Reed got a lot of it down. And those guys play all the stuff I've forgotten. I need to go see them and get a refresher course. You know? I just really don't play that much anymore, to tell you the truth. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Except with Robert Gordon, I got to play with him. You know, that was good.
Yeah, and you were working with Lance Quinn on that.
Yeah.
So
Best musical experience I ever had was the Redneck Jazz Explosion with Buddy Emmons, so that was the thing for me.
that was the high point.
Yeah.
How is it working with all those people?
It was tremendous. I never played with a group of players, you know, they were all of the same caliber, so to say, as those guys were. So that went on for about a year, and then I had an accident and put my hand through a window and cut the tendons in these fingers, and they didn't work for about a year. So that fell apart. They still don't work right, but I get by.
How did you and Buddy Emmons get together?
I met him in Nashville, hired him to do a demo, and we played Rock Candy, the old Jack McDuff tune, which is on Redneck Jazz. It'd be nice if we could re-release that thing. And he had fun, and I had fun, and I asked him if he wanted to play, and he said sure. So we started throwing things together. Didn't rehearse much, but we had a lot of fun.
One more. I don't know if they're done. You were talking about the people in Washington and here we are in a time capsule. It's 1984.
Almost.
Over the last 15 years, who are the people that have come and gone through Washington? I'm thinking of everybody from Emmylou Harris. What musician? What
Well, who are
Number
from
of them.
Washington?
Yeah.
What's happening? If you were in California and hearing this guy Dan Gatton, you didn't. What does Washington's music scene look like, or do you always go at it?
Right now it's pretty bleak.
There's no place to play anymore.
Not much.
Most of the clubs are closed.
Yeah.
Who are some of your favorite guitar players today? Who are some of the people you like?
George Benson and Lenny Breau, Larry Carlton.
You got a chance down in Austin to play with Eric Johnson.
Yeah, Eric Johnson. Well, he's tremendous.
Mm-hmm. And who else? You've known Roy Buchanan for some time.
Oh yeah. I haven't seen him for a long time. Yeah, we used to be friends. We won't go into that. But,
Okay.
I absorbed quite a bit from him and vice versa. You're not really going to use this stuff, are you?
No.
Don't. You're not going to put this in there
No.
because that wouldn't make any sense at all.
Okay. No, I'm bad done. I mean,
We're out of tape anyway. So.
All right. Well, that's what I was looking
Thank
for.
you,
Yeah,
Dan.
Thank you.
That was really neat.
Hey, Parker.
So what was that about the banjo?
What about it?
You know, how did you get it and everything?
You said your father bought you a banjo.
Yeah,
and
my
you,
folks bought me a banjo in
you learned to play it on the way home.
57, 58. Yeah, but I already had rolls figured out because I'd learned how to. I've been playing guitar for a couple of years and I had an old D18 Martin, and I'd tune it open G like a banjo. And I'd fool with the rolls and kind of figured out how that went. But I used to really practice riding them down the road in my father's 56 Ford Victoria. This is the truth. With finger picks on, picking on the chrome. If you ever see one, you'll notice that there's 4 or 5 ribs on the side. And you can hang your hand out the window and do like this. And play banjo rolls on the chrome of your father's car. If you like. That's what I did. That's the truth.
See, you'd pretend those were strings,
Yeah.
and you'd practice your rolls.
I would.
Right in the car. That's great.
Worked.
Yeah, apparently.
So I'm getting ready to buy another one so I can practice some more.
And and you've transferred almost all your banjo licks to guitar, right? You can play them just as well with a flat pick and 3 fingers as you can with a thumb pick and the finger picks.
Yeah, I can play banjo this way with flat picking fingers. Doesn't sound as good, but I can't play guitar very well with banjo picks on. For some reason, that doesn't work for me. It works great for Eddie Adcock because he's the greatest banjo player in the world. But in my case, no. So, yeah, but there's a lot of banjo things you can learn. Well, like bluegrass.
Yeah,
Right.
bluegrass.
Bluegrass. So, that's your basic G guitar tune.
Okay.
You can tune it this way too. You can play it like a dobro. We need a beer bottle. We should get into the slide thing. We haven't done that yet.
Yeah. That's good.
This is pretty awkward.
What's your tuning here?
G.
No, I mean string by string.
Okay, D on the first. You lower your first string to D. Raise your A to B. Raise your 6th string to G. Basic dobro stuff.
how does this, Danny, could you say a sentence that talks about tuning in general? We got into specific kinds of tuning, and I don't have a paragraph that kind of says how you got interested in tuning or why it matters.
Okay, well,
I mean, most guitar players.
I can ask you. How did you start discovering different tunings?
Oh, mostly out of need for particular songs, voicings and things. These days, I tune my big E string around a lot depending on what key we may be in. I'll tune it to D like this. Well, sometimes I tune it down to C. Get that steel thing. And then you can always put it all the way down. And when you're playing some blues, that kind of stuff.
That's great.
Sounds silly here, but it's effective when you do it with a band.
Yeah.
What else did you want? You want to know Les Paul stuff?
Yeah. Let me get a. Show us.
Okay, here's.
Show us some of the Les Paul licks. And isn't this stuff that he originally double tracked, and then you learned to play?
Well, some of it I can do
was.
in 2 parts. Some of it I can do in 3. I think really these things were clarinet licks. Like Les used to go.
Okay. Slow that down.
Slowly.
That's.
That's. On your right hand, it's just like a drummer riding the cymbals.
Okay.
So good.
Okay.
And you can add a second part by just laying over onto the B string and going.
Okay. Now.
That's for an E. The harmony for that would be like.
Okay.
And you could do it inside.
Okay.
So when you play these things at speed, they
At
sound
speed.
like. And there's another way you can do it for A. It's basically the same thing. Working off of this inversion of A.
Okay.
Basically the same kind of thing.
We need a little more of the neck of the guitar shot. We were missing this.
And
Yeah. Get both hands.
Could you do the inversion again or whatever?
this,
Wait 1 second. Let me get happy here.
yeah, get close.
Yeah. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. So,
You asked me about this too.
yes.
That's the easiest thing in the world to cheat with. Run out of stuff, do that.
So you're just going back and forth across the E string, and with your pull-offs, you're creating a triplet, right?
Right, you pick the note, pull it off, and go.
Okay. Okay, fine. Speaking of your speed, you're one of the fastest players I've ever seen. What did you do to build up your speed? Who did you listen to? Did you do any special exercises?
Oh yeah, I developed, I think, some unique picking right-hand techniques that I haven't seen people do before. For a lot of stuff like like combination of fingers and pick. Here's a
Right.
good exercise for your up and down strokes. This sounds dumb, but it works. You start with a downstroke. When you get to that point, if you're still going up and down, you will notice that your stroke will become backwards and you have to pick that same lick with upstrokes instead of downstrokes, like it does like this.
I see.
And so on and so on. So that's good for you.
Okay.
How about harmonics?
Yeah. Okay, now explain to us exactly.
Okay, I learned
you're
this from
doing
Lenny
here.
Bro, who's the champion of the world. Okay. Now, the theory behind playing harmonics like that is you play a real note, like the D string, for instance, with your little finger, play the harmonic in the 12th fret with your pick and your first finger, and you roll it. Jeez. As such. Just as an example, and you make up funny chords. There's one.
Now, I've also seen you play where you're playing the bass note as a harmonic in a chord.
Those are harmonics that you pinch with your third finger and your pick. Needs a lot of treble for this. A lot of volume too. This is something we didn't do earlier, playing on a song.
Okay. No, I was talking more about the harmonics you were just showing us, but it seems like you're playing you're playing the whole chord and you're playing your bass note. Right, you're playing a bass note as a harmonic.
Yeah, well that's an old Chet Atkins thing.
Right.
Right. You get the feeling of doing this. Sounds like this, but it's not really. The root is right there, but the third is here. So it sounds like this.
Right. There you go.
Okay, there's another harmonic thing that I was starting to get into a second ago,
Sure.
where you pinch harmonics.
Sure. Whistlers.
Yeah, that's what we call whistlers. Roy Buchanan does them with downstrokes or upstrokes on the tip of his finger
Mm-hmm.
or on the end of his thumb, but I figured out a way that I could do them with the tip of this finger and hardly ever miss one.
Okay, now show us exactly how that's done. That comes from chicken picking, right?
Hang on a
You gotta
second.
stop.
We have some problem with this.
Sorry. This question is for me. So you've been playing guitar for a long time. Tell me a little bit about where the technical and the soul combine and why, what you do with technical. Does that make any sense? Do you know what I mean? You can be a...
Having technical facility and being able to project feeling are two different things. It's taken me, well, I started playing in '55, and I still don't exactly project what I want to, soul-wise, a lot of times. So that's something that you just have to acquire when you go down the road of life. And unfortunately, the more hurt you get, the better you play. Seems to be true.
Mm-hmm. When you were learning licks from other guitar players, taking stuff off records, did you try and copy it exactly?
Some of them, yeah.
Who were some of the people that you
Well,
really?
Les Paul was my original influence, and he's still #1 hero in my book. So I was listening to Les Paul records when I was probably 4 or 5 years old, and slowing 45s down to 33 and 16 on the old record players, knowing that there was something fishy about that, about the sped up stuff. So by the time I learned to play, I knew what I wanted to play, and about 3 years into it, I figured out how you do it. I used to make multi-track tapes at home with sped up parts and things back in '58. on 2 tape recorders, create my own echo by playing a little slower behind myself with a track onto another one. That was real hard to do, but it was unique in that the echo wasn't always spaced exactly the same. So I'll have to let you hear those tapes someday.
Okay.
I understand that, but that was a technique of mine.
So you'd slow the Les Paul records down and learn so that the parts that had been speeded up were now at normal speed. Then you learn those.
So of course they were an octave or 2 below where they were played, but they sound neat that way.
Mm-hmm.